This Arkansas choir teacher was charged with sexually assaulting a student. What happened with that? So on February 23rd, 2023, the Siloam Springs School Resource Officer contacted the Siloam Springs Police Department about a report that a parent had made. The parent came to the Siloam Springs School District and said that Ethan Wells, her son's choir teacher, had an inappropriate relationship with her son while he was a student at Siloam Springs School District. Now, I'm not saying that it was an inappropriate relationship. That is the term that is used in the probable cause affidavit. Someone had mentioned in the last video that I did about a teacher having assaulted a student that I use the term inappropriate relationship, and I agree that it is not an inappropriate relationship. It is absolutely an assault on a child, but that's just the term that is used here. And certainly in the future, I'm going to be more aware of using that term myself whenever it's not in the report as that. A recorded interview was conducted with the victim in the case, and the victim told police that he was first introduced to Ethan Wells when he was in the 8th grade, and that Ethan Wells and the victim became close the victim's 8th grade year. That relationship continued. They would text each other, and at some point, the victim shared with Ethan Wells that he had feelings for him. Now, I do want to add this in here. I don't care what age someone is, if they are a minor and you're an adult, if they're saying that they have feelings for you, that doesn't mean that you as an adult have to act on anything, because this person is a child, and in your mind, you should be mature enough to realize this person is a child and I am not going to take advantage of them. Not only is it inappropriate, it is against the law. In this case, the victim said that he told Ethan that he had feelings for him after the prom in 2022, and he fully expected that Ethan Wells would say, hey, that's inappropriate, we can't be doing that. But Ethan Wells did not. So there was a relationship that existed between Ethan Wells and this victim from April 2022 through June 2022, but then they decided that the relationship shouldn't go on any further until the victim graduated high school. The victim told police that he thought that Ethan Wells could go back to being his mentor, but then he realized that that wasn't going to be a possibility. When these allegations came to light, Ethan Wells was actually on a trip with other students. 2 other teachers from Siloam Springs that were on that same trip separated Ethan Wells from the other students while the investigation was being conducted. And during that time, Ethan Wells made statements to those 2 teachers saying it had to be the victim's name that made the reports, and that he and the victim did have a sexual relationship. But the victim ended that relationship when the victim said it felt uncomfortable to have a relationship with his teacher. Ethan Wells told these 2 teachers that he had sexual contact with the student in a closet where costumes are kept by the drama room, and that he shouldn't have done it, but he gave into temptation, turning himself into the ultimate victim, like, bro, you're an adult. Also, he said that the victim said that he wouldn't tell anybody. And all of these statements that Ethan Wells was making point to the fact that Ethan Wells knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew what he was doing was wrong, but he chose to do it anyway. And make no mistake about it, a teacher of any sort should not be texting an 8th grader. There is no reason, in my opinion, for a choir teacher to be texting an 8th grader after school hours for any reason. And 100%, I would feel that way if it were a science teacher, a history teacher, a math teacher. I wouldn't care what kind of teacher. If you want to talk to my child, you can message me and I will forward that message. I don't feel like there's any reason to be speaking directly to a child to have that direct contact. So on February 23rd, 2023, an arrest warrant was issued for Ethan Wells, charging him with first-degree sexual assault. Ethan Wells has now pled guilty to a charge related to this case. I'm not sure if he pled guilty to first-degree sexual assault or if it was something else. Ethan Wells was sentenced to 6 years probation and court-ordered to register as a sex offender in this case. For those of you that are forever talking about how women get slaps on the wrist and men get heavier sentences, here's an instance where a man got a slap on the wrist.